Hello, hello, hello. So, time for a little project. I've got a load of bits. I've been scavenging slowly but surely. Found myself an old flight case amongst all the stuff in my workshop. Removed the bottom velvet cover. So the idea is that I'm going to turn this and all various bits here into an 18650 lithium ion flight case charging station deluxe. It's going to be deluxe because I just like the sound of that. So along with all these bits, got myself a nice little switch mode power supply, 5 volt. It's 40 amp, mains powered obviously. So I'm going to mount that in there. Probably said way around. It's got a few mounting lugs on the back there, so I can bolt it to the back of the board, back of the flight case. Got this rather dirty piece of old plywood, but that will get chopped down to form the base for the holders. Now the holders, standard ones from China. I've bent up the tabs. You see that there. So normally they stick down, but I don't want that. I want them to go flush with the board, so then I can solder wires out. Have some buzz bars running along, so pick up power. I'm going to charge them with a little charging module, which I did have on my desk. There's so much stuff on my desk, I think I've lost it. Oh, there's one. Right. So these are, again, the Chinese little charging module, the TP4056. There's a picture of one. Very common on eBay. Good little chargers for what they are. They're dirt cheap. I only charge one cell, but that's all I really need for this. Give you an indicator by light, LED lights, whether it's charging or has charged. The basic idea. Several of these in a row. Boom, charge, done. You might be wondering why I haven't gone and got like the 4-way or however many way cell holders. So I built previous chargers that have worked nicely, and I've done some of those that are actually the 4-cell holders, blocks of those together. But what you find is when you get a heater, i.e. one of these red little chappies that Sanyo like to make, and they start heating up rapidly. In the cell holders, when you've got a few of them together, it becomes a little bit tricky to know which one's heated. So because they're so close together, they end up heating the cells around them as well. So what I found better in later designs of this is that I have separate cell holders and keep them separated by 5-6 mil, something like that. So I've got loads of those, so I'm going to put loads in, something like that. And then I've got all my cells charging in a nice little flight case, and I can transport it all around with me. Keep the other half a little bit happier when it goes in the house, because she won't see all the wires and mess that's associated with it. This is an old power supply, PC power supply, that I was using for charging. I'm going to take the IEC connector off that, probably the switch as well, and I'm going to put those on the side of the flight case, make it nice and sort of portable and like a proper product, I guess. A little switch, power, and you can open up, sticking probably about 30 cells I think I'll get in there, and charge away. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn you off for a minute. I'm going to go and chop this board, make some little pillars for the side so I can screw the board in on top. Okay, so apologies, it took so long, almost 2 weeks. I meant to continue this filming after I filmed the first part of this. But these screws, these really small little screws, took over 2 weeks to arrive in the post. And I needed them to screw all of these down. So I've started already. There's a few screwed down. I've got these lovely little strips of copper to make the power bars up with, the buzz bars. These are actually from, you can buy them on eBay. They use them for roofing, for slate roofing strips. so they've got a little hole in one end. Various lengths you can get them in, but nice and thick, 2mm thick. What's that, about 12mm wide, I think. So I'm going to run those along top and bottom, and they'll do the negative power. Then I've got some more copper and twisted cable. I'm going to run that down the centre to do the positive. I might get some little sort of power block terminals and stick those there. So anyway, I started screwing these down. I've been using a piece of leftover circuit board to get the spacing correct on each one of them. So we put that down there like that. Let's jump out of the way, hang on. Now, the screws are such a pain to do because they're so small. But we shall go for that there. Don't have a bit small enough for my electric screwdriver, and obviously they're stainless steel as well, these screws, so they don't actually hold on to any magnet parts, so it's even worse trying to use an electric screwdriver to do this. Otherwise it certainly would be, to speed things up. So I'm going to go along, do all of those, spacing them all equally the same with that little bit of leftover circuit board. I won't bore you with that anymore. You notice that I've pre-soldered some of these, so I've tinned them all, and all I've done is make sure that's the positive side is connecting directly onto there. I've got a nice big tip on the soldering iron, so you can get plenty of heat in quite quickly. Just moved that off, didn't cool down quick enough. There you go, so they're all ready made, ready to go, soldered up. It's a bit blurry on the camera, sorry. But then they'll all go in. I'll solder these bars down. I'll solder that one in place now actually. Most of the bits are pre-tinned. The copper bar I haven't done, but we'll see how it goes. It's all fresh, new, clean, so it should take quite quickly. Yeah, there we go, lovely. Do that one as well. Always make sure you have a decent soldering iron when you're doing large parts, a decent high wattage. This one's a oh, I've no idea who makes it. XR-tronic 60 watt 24 volt tip. It's a variable temperature jobby, and as with most things it's turned up fully to 430 odd degrees to get the most heat. Right, so that's that bit done, nicely held down. I'm going to screw the rest of those in, and then I'll turn the camera back on because you don't want to watch me doing loads of screws and soldering because it's incredibly boring. But once I get some more parts in and start hooking it up to the power supply, which I've put in the bottom already, it's screwed in, the pillars are in. I even put that nice little IEC connector on the side of it and a switch. So I'll get these little bits done and then I shall turn you back on and we'll go from there. Yeah, still putting screws in, doing the top rail, getting cramp in my hand. The joys of messing around with little tiny screws. You gotta love life, haven't you? Yeah, I can feel it in my hand now. Ah, thought I'd turn the camera on, buy myself a little bit of rest time for my hand. God. But getting there. There's only so many more to do. 11 more to do. Right, back on with it. Okay, getting there now. Not far to go. I've run out of strip. So strip. I I had to bend the copper. Oh, can't see me on the camera. That's useless, isn't it? I had to bend that copper strip because I ran out of room down here, which was a miscalculation, but it is all very tight. And then I ran out of copper strip to finish that little bit so I could get another charger in there. I have the strip, now I just got to bend it again. So, how do we do that, you say? Bend that like that? Well, copper bends really easily. Now I'm going to walk you around, do some awful camera work, and show you this little toy. It's a fly press, old-fashioned fly press. So we're going to wind the handle up, get the jaws open, carefully try and place that in there so that it's centered. No CNC stuff here. There we go. Take her down. Do I think she's right? I don't know. Yeah, she's about right. So, a little bit of pressure, a couple of taps. There she is. She's bent up. Like so. So, take that back over here. That'll fit in there. Lovely, and takes me right to the end. I could fit another 2 bays in there maybe, but then I might want to bring up the cables here somewhere for putting the positive power down the centre. Right, okay, back in 2 ticks again when I think about this and have a cup of coffee. Okay, so positive power row in the centre there. I'm going to quickly, on the battery boards, I'm going to quickly tin the positive power ins on them. So, look at these boards. At the top of the boards, where the connector is, you have got power in, which is 5 volts. I'll center that a bit more. The top of the USB connector is negative ground, and also that's ground. So I'm probably going to solder to the top of that micro USB connector and run a bar all the way down and another bar on the other side all the way down, then join those up to the grounds that are on the sides, and we're almost there, almost there. Right, so quickly go and tin all the positives, which I'll do one side first and come back and do the other side. The downside with this is that I've got positive of the batteries up there on the bottom row, and then I've got positive there, so I'm going to have to remember to turn them as I'm putting them in, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. And I don't want to be in trouble. No one likes being in trouble. How are we doing? I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing, or if I'm actually just putting my head in the way. Downside of a camera above your workbench, I guess. Or we should have it off to one side. But hey, I'm new to this YouTubing video blog thing, but people keep telling me I should document things on here so others can do things. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. But anyway, I got bored one day and I thought, yeah, you know, I'm going to do this charging station because I need another one. I thought, maybe I'd video it as well. Cause I bought years ago a HD camera. I thought, oh, that's cool, I'll have one of those. Never used it for anything serious. Well, got the birth of my daughter, not the actual birth, but the before and after hospital shots sort of thing. I've never used it for any sort of project work, so I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. See what we can do. We can encourage a few people to make something, then the world's a better place. I've spent my whole life making stuff, and I guess I'm pretty lucky in the fact that I make stuff for other people as well and get paid for it. So that's a bonus. So I'm product design engineer by trade. Do electronics, mechanics, CAD design, all sorts of things. So, next step. I'm going to have to strip some wire. I'm going to use this wire here. That's not massively thick, but if I strip it back, I use a strand from side to side. It doesn't have to hold much current. It has to take an amp through there, and that's probably going to blow if it gets much more than an amp. So that'll work nice for me. So yeah, I'll quickly strip this and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to zoom you in a bit. Hopefully you see what I'm going to be doing. Might be a bit tight maybe. So I'm going to, I've got, it doesn't even show on the camera, does it, this really? Very faithful. Maybe I'll bring it up to, yeah, right, okay. Well, those strips of copper anyway, I've tinned them, so I'm going to just solder them down onto the boards. I've tinned a bunch of them ready, so I'm going to go do the tops first. Then I'll come back and I'll link up the bottom ones and cut the strands of wire to size. It's just handy to tin things first because you can solder it so much quicker. And then you avoid getting too much heat into your device as well, whatever it is you're trying to solder. It's quite a totally new tip on your soldering line too now, it's been used so many times. Bleed into it, there'll be holes in plastic, but you do. So what I did is I tinned both ends, although I'm not going to ever use that amount of wire for this. So what I was planning on doing is going like that, that's roughly that far, and do the same to this one, roughly that far, step them back, and that one. Actually quite impressed that the layout of this has worked quite well. With the positive to the negatives, positive to the negatives layouts. I don't know what I'm talking about now, clearly. I can't do more than one thing at once. Maybe the other half was right. I can't talk and solder things. I'll solder those bits again in a minute, but I'll just put the rest of these, this side in. As I said, I soldered both sides of the wire in preparation for this. A bit more solder. Oh, look at that, someone's phoning me now. Who is it? Ah, it's the other half. Talk of the devil. Right, I better get that back in a tick. Okay, so quick intermission there for a phone call. I've just been going over all these, soldering them in. Nothing exciting at this point, just loads of soldering. You may notice now that I've put little screws in here as well, just to make sure that power bar doesn't move all over the shop. I don't want any short circuits. Come back and do the ground wire shortly. Right, that's all bar this very end one soldered up. Now I've got to make my choice up another one there, or do I leave that as it is? Choices. What have I got? 25, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25-way charger. I suppose that's not bad. I think I will leave a gap there because it gives me a little bit of room to put holes through and run cables through those holes. So let's solder this one in. Snip that off, ready. Hopefully I'm not off the camera too much. I'm off the side of the camera anyway. Be a bit better for you guys. Okay, nearing completion. So next I'm going to tin the tops of these. Notice I'm going quite quick. Again, as I was talking about earlier, the soldering iron's quite a decent one. It's got a good size tip on the end as well. If you've got a small soldering iron, obviously it takes longer to heat up whatever it is you're trying to solder. Which slows you down a bit. It's also important to give a soldering iron a rest when you're doing things like this. As soon as you start touching the various bits of metal, it starts cooling down the tip. So if you're doing big bits of metal, big bits of copper or cables, whatever it is, let it rest for a little bit. There's no point frustrating yourself trying to solder something that's just not flowing because you can't get enough heat into it. Once I've done this, I'll decide what I use to put on the tops of these. I suspect it's going to be the cable that I've already used. I think I might use another piece of this, run that down the top. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It's quite neat and tidy then. I'll probably bring those out to look. Bring those down and I'll put a hole there and I'll put a hole there and they'll drop through to the underside, whereby I can connect up underneath the board and run a cable to the power supply. That sounds good to me. Sounds fantastico. So I say I think I'm going to want to bend it about there. So I'm going to want to put a hole through the board. I'm going to want 2 of those. Let's rough length on that and make another one. There, and I'm going to want to bend it about there. Now I can trim up the ends once I get there. So 2 ticks, I'm going to go and get the drill and drill a couple of holes. Oh, wrong way, zoomed the wrong way, and I'll be back again. I've got my drilling device. There we go, a couple of 6mm holes, cable popped down there nicely. Right, get this head blow off. It's coming together, slowly but surely. Right. So, fun and games begins now. Soldering these down to each one of those. I may well pause you. I'll just tack this one on and see how we get on. It takes nicely. It's where the USB connector drops off because of the amount of heat I put into it. I think we'll be okay though. Right, so I'm going to do a load of those, solder all the tops, and then I'll be back again. So, the final few bits I have... Ow! There's a screw on the underside of the board, that hurt. I've put the negative ground all the way around now, that's soldered up. These are linked underneath, so they come through the board. That's the positive, that's the ground. There's the screws that I've just stuck my fingers on. So the centre is positive. I've done a quick meter check to make sure that the positive and negative are not connected, because I don't want a blue puff of smoke in a minute. So I'm now going to wire these into the power supply down here. So I've got negative there, negative ground. Flip that up. Let's check what is what here. So the first 3 connectors are on ground. Tighten her up. Give it a wiggle. It's all good. Right, you may be wondering why this one has 2 prongs on it. Well, I salvaged a piece of wire out of a UPS harness because it was a nice thick gauge wire, and that's just what it had on the end, and I needed a bit of extra length instead of cutting it there, so I just thought, what the hell, plug it in onto... Here's my super duper wire strippers and cutters. If you haven't got a pair of these, go and buy yourself a pair. It'll revolutionise your life. Trust me, they do. I'm not just getting excited about it at all. They are super duper. Look how easy it did that. It's amazing. Right, okay, that's my geeky bit over. And do 2 of these ones up here. One can go in one, and the other can go in the other. They're all connected internally the same, so it makes no odds. It's just that wire's got 2 wires on it, so I may as well. Left hand screwdrivering, not my forte. There we go, swap hands, give them a final tight. So we've got mains power down here, cables are in the way, so live, neutral and earth, they go up to the IEC connector, and move that over a bit, and the switch. So the switch is on the live mains and switches it on and off on the mains, so that's that. Not much else in the bottom of this at the moment. I may put some other bits in there at some point. Right. That's that. Now, moment of truth. Do we get a big cloudy smoke, or does it just go in nicely and everyone's happy? Right. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Ah. The only downside is I've got a couple of boards that have got red lights on. Why is that? I seem to think they're connected to something. That's a bit strange. I have to... Let's see what it says when the battery's plugged in. The same. Right, okay. Now, I may have to have a look at those boards, because I suspect there's something wrong with them. Anyway, so that's a bit of a result, I suppose. Nice red LEDs, blue LEDs and red LEDs. Bargain. Right, so I'm going to screw this down. Just make sure the lid closes okay. It does. So, previously I'd put blocks of wood in the corners on the flight case to hold it in place. And now screw her down, and jobs are good. And I've got a flight case charging deck. Even though I do have to investigate why those particular cells are on charge and there's nothing in there. Super duper, jobs are good. And then we can turn her off. I say you can turn her off. That switch don't work. Fantastic, I love it when a plan comes together. The switch really doesn't work. Amazing. Close her up. There we go. Power on the side. A switch that doesn't work. All self-contained. These are dust. And I need to check out a couple of these circuit boards connected in because they don't seem to be working properly. But that is job done. I'm happy. Happy as can be. Let's power it on again. Definitely these two boards. Very strange. So I'll have to get a meter and go over those and see what's happening. So here we go. Okay, so it's a normal working one. They just float until a cell's connected. You probably can't see the meter reading on there, but yeah, if we look at working ones, 4.2, 4.8, fluctuating up and down, the blue light ones, which are working ones. If we go for the ones that aren't working, they're on 0 volts, which leads me to believe they have a short on their boards. So I'll investigate that and see. One more test actually. We put a cell in to charge. See what she's charging at. 335, 336. Yeah, gradually building up. So that seems to be working okay. Anyway, that is the charging station. I'll fix those two holders. But otherwise I've got myself a 25-way portable lithium ion 18650 charging case. Any questions, comments? Leave them down below. Otherwise, thank you and good luck with your projects. Go build!